Yeah, hello and how are you? Hey friends, welcome to the Shen Show. I am your host, Janelle Briscoe, coming to you from right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Don't mind the hair, it's a little whacked, but that's because I've been on and off of this here computer a couple of times today due to the fact, well, the weather is just too fine. Anyway, it's Wednesday, April the 8th, 2020, meaning, whoa, that was wrong. 2020, meaning 59. Yes, sir. My mother and father, John and Mary, have been married for 59 years. And so I'm going to give them a special anniversary shout out saying, hey, happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy 59th, Mom and Dad. Happy anniversary to you and many more. You cha 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 cha. They are together and have been for 59 happy, wonderful, beautiful years. Yes, sir, not a day of arguing, not a day of where they didn't speak to each other. They are the happiest couple. I've never even heard them raise a word to each other. Their voices have always, okay, well, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. But anyway, happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. Love you. All right. I also got some birthday shout outs going out to, let's see, Debbie Thurston Voight and Amanda Murray, Janelle Schumer, Chris Rickard, Janey Christopher, and Larry Finley. And that means I'm going to have to go through some birthday song too. Now you're not getting the regular one, but you are going to get a sneeze if you're not careful. Because, well, okay, anyway, here we go. I said, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. So happy birthday, I'ma say. Hey, Debbie, Amanda, Janelle, Chris, Jenny, and Larry. I said, you're 1 more year older today. I said, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. So happy birthday, I'ma say. You're 1 more year older today, so happy birthday to you, I say. And many more. Ya cha 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 cha. Alrighty, I also got some Facebook pokes. Now I'm only going pokes because I think people from Facebook must have went on strike or something because they're no longer giving you your friends when you became friends, and so I can't do my regular friendiversary shout outs. So I'm making mentions of the pokers instead. So here we go. I have been poked by Melissa. Let's see. I have been poked by Crystal Arnold. I have been poked by Melissa Hults and Karen Sanders. That is correct. The three of them have poked me. So thank you so very much for your pokes. I've been poked quite a bit. And I enjoy it because, well, I always poke back. I think I think what I'm going to have to say here though is that uh, somebody didn't poke me this time, or I missed somebody off the list. She pokes me almost every day, and she ain't on the list. Oh no, I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. Not on the list. This is just not right. I have to put her on the list. I'm sorry, but she's got to be on the list. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. Oh man. Do 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 do. Eh. Ouch, slot wizard. I don't need slot wizards. I want pokes. I have been poked by. It's Amanda. But where is it? Where are my pokes? Because I have been poked by. Uh-oh, here we go. It's not on there, but it's Amanda. Wake up. Start notepad. Amanda. Select all. Cut that. Paste that. Yes, Amanda Murray. That's right. Pokes me all the time. And so I wanted to make sure I made mention of Amanda. Also on the post. And there's somebody else too that's always poking me too. And I can't remember who it is because it's drawing me off because she didn't poke me today. I hope she's all right. Doggone it. And I can't remember her name, and it drives me nuts because I am old. I'm almost as old as my mom and dad. I mean, as long as they've been married. 4 years short. I think it's 4 years short. 59. Yeah, 4 years short of go to sleep. All right, anyway, 4 years short. Anyway, let's see. It's time to do the weather. I'm gonna be reading a long story for the kids today because I missed out on one yesterday, so it's gonna be a long one today. But anyway, here we go with the weather for the St. Charles viewing area. It's 83 degrees out there right now, kind of darkish looking. Tonight April 7th or April 8th, pardon me, partly cloudy with gusty winds diminishing after midnight. A stray severe thunderstorm is quite possible. Lows near 45 degrees Fahrenheit. North to northwest winds at 20 to 30 miles per hour, decreasing to 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, let's see, Thursday, what will Thursday bring? Thursday is going to bring some sunshine in the morning, followed by partly cloudy skies and gusty winds during the afternoon. Highs around 59 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds are going to be northwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour. High wind gusts are quite possible. Higher wind gusts are quite possible. Partly cloudy skies overnight, lows around 33 degrees Fahrenheit, winds north to northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Higher wind gusts are quite possible at that point in time too. Friday, April 10th, sunshiny skies. Highs around 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies during the evening will give way to cloudy skies overnight. Lows around 43 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds light and variable, south to southeast at 5 miles per hour. Saturday, April the 11th, cloudy skies early, a few showers developing later in the day. Highs around 59 degrees Fahrenheit, winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain, 30%. Partly cloudy skies early will give way to occasional showers late during the night. Lows around 51 degrees Fahrenheit and winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain, 50%. And then Sunday, April 12th, showers early becoming a steady light rain late in the day. Highs around 64 degrees Fahrenheit, winds south to southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chances of rain, 60%. Rain showers early with overcast skies later on at night. Lows around 37 degrees with winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chances of rain 60%. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. My eyes aren't what they used to be. I am supposed to wear some glasses, you see. Well, those glasses that I'm talking about are nothing more than reading glasses, but they're just a smaller pair, like 1.5 to 2, somewhere in there. That's what the reading dude said, so the eyeglasses guy said. So anyway, Monday, April 13th, partly cloudy skies in the morning will give way to cloudy skies during the afternoon. Highs around 48 degrees Fahrenheit and winds north to northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy overnight with lows around 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, which concludes our 5-day forecast for the St. Charles viewing area, brought to you by Willis Resale. That's right, Willis Resale. You can go to Facebook and catch Willis Resale anytime you desire. Alrighty then. Oh, what have I done? Ah, la da dee dee. Recently closed 5 days. The Elves and the Shoemaker. That's our story, and it's going to be brought to you by Kimberly Dodd Little. It's the Queen of Bling. That's right. That's right. Rock and roll ring bling. That's right. So anyway, Kimberly Dodd Little on Facebook. Just go and check out her page and jump on her show, and she'll let you know what's what and where it is and how much it's going to cost you. $5 for most items. All right, here we go. The elves, and the shoemaker. A shoemaker, by no fault of his own, had become so poor that at last he had nothing left but leather for one pair of shoes. So in the evening he cut out the shoes which he wished to begin to make the next morning. And as he had a good conscience, he lay down quietly in his bed, commended himself to God, and fell asleep. In the morning, after he had said his prayers, and was just going to sit down to work, the two shoes stood quite finished on his table. He was astonished, and knew not what to say to it. He took the shoes in his hands to observe them closer. They were so neatly made that there was not one bad stitch in them, just as if they were intended as a masterpiece. Soon after a buyer came in, and as the shoes pleased him so well, he paid more than was customary, and with the money the shoemaker was able to purchase leather for 2 pairs of shoes. He cut them out at night, and next morning was about to set down to work with fresh courage, but he had no need to do so, for when he got up they were already made, and buyers also were not wanting, who gave him money enough to buy leather, for they were already made, and buyers also were not wanting, who gave him money enough to buy leather for 4 pairs of shoes. The following morning, too, he had found the 4 pairs made, and so it went on constantly. What he cut out in the evening was finished by the morning, so that he soon had his honest independence again, and at last became a wealthy man. Now it befell that one evening, not long before Christmas, when the man had been cutting out, he said to his wife, before going to bed, "What think you if we were to stay up all night to see who it is that lends us this helping hand?" The woman liked the idea and lighted a candle, and then they hid themselves in the corner of the room, behind some clothes which were hanging up there, and watched. When it was midnight, 2 pretty little naked men came, sat down by the shoemaker's table, took all the work which was cut out before them, and began to stitch and sew, and hammer so skillfully and so quickly with their little fingers that the shoemaker could not turn away his eyes for astonishment. They did not stop until all was done, and stood finished on the table, and they ran away quickly. Next morning the woman said, "The little men have made us rich, and we really must show that we are grateful for it. They ran about so, and having nothing on, and must be cold. I tell thee what I will do. I will make them some shirts, and coats, and vests, and trousers, and knit both of them a pair of stockings, and do thou too make them two little pairs of shoes. The man said, I shall be very glad to do it. And one night, when everything was ready, they laid their presents all together on the table instead of the cut out work, and then concealed themselves to see how the little men would behave. At midnight they came bounding in, and wanted to get to work at once. But as they did not find any leather cut out, but only the pretty little articles of clothing, they were at first astonished, and then they showed intense delight. They dressed themselves with the greatest rapidity, putting the pretty clothes on and singing, now we are all boys so fine to see. Why should we longer cobblers be? Now we are boys so fine to see. Why should we longer be cobblers be? Then they danced and they skipped and they leapt over chairs and benches. At last they danced out the door. From that time on forth they came no more, but as long as the shoemaker lived, all went well with him, and all his undertakings re- prospered. Now that was one version of the story. There is also a second version of the story, which was, there once was a poor servant girl who was industrious and cleanly, and swept the house every day, and emptied her sweepings on the great heap in front of the door. One morning, when she was just going back to her work, she found a letter on this heap, and as she could not read, she put her broom in the corner, and took the letter to her master and mistress. And behold, it was an invitation from the elves, who asked the girl to hold a child for them at its christening. The girl did not know what to do, but at length, after much persuasion, and as they told her that it was not right to refuse an invitation of this kind, she consented. Then 3 elves came and conducted her to a way to a hollow mountain where the little folks lived. Everything there was small, but more elegant and beautiful than can be described. The baby's mother lay in a bed of black ebony, ornamented with pearls. The coverlids were embroidered with gold, and the cradle was of ivory. The bath of gold, the bath of gold. The girl stood as a grandmother, and then wanted to go home again. But the little elves urgently entered her, entertained her to stay there 3 days with them. So she stayed and passed the time in pleasure and gaiety, and the little folks did all they could to make her happy. At last she set out on her way home. Then first they filled her pockets quite full of money, and after they they laid her out of the mountain, led her out of the mountain again. When she got home, she wanted to begin her work, and took the broom, which was still standing in the corner, in her hands, and began to sweep. Then some strangers came out of the house, who asked her who she was, and what her business she had there. And she had not, as she thought, been 3 days with the little men in the mountains, but 7 years, and in the meantime her former masters had died. Okay, that one didn't make any sense. And then there's a third story. And the third story is very short. A certain mother's child had been taken away out of its cradles by the elves, and the challenging and a challenging with a large head and staring eyes, which would do nothing but eat and drink, laid on its place. In her troubles, she went to her neighbor and asked her advice. The neighbor said that she was to carry the challenging into the kitchen, set it down on the hearth, light a fire, and boil some water in 2 eggshells, which would make the challenging laugh. And if he laughed, all would be over with him. So the women did as the neighbor had bade her. And when she put the eggshells with water on the fire, the imp said, I am as old now as the wester forest, but never yet have I seen anyone boil anything in an eggshell. And he began to laugh at it. Whilst he was laughing, suddenly came a host of little elves, who brought the right child, set it down on the hearth, and took the changeling away with them. Okay, there you go. Those are the elf stories. Oh, all right. Hey, so now it looks like it's about time for our portion of the program called Our Daily Bread, which it certainly is. All right, Our Daily Bread is brought to you by God, sponsored by God, and it's also sponsored by OurDailyBread.com, odb.org. odb.org. Today's devotion is called In Innocence Found. If you're keeping up with the Bible with Briscoe, which I really hope you are, today's reading will be 1 Samuel 10 through 12 and Luke 9, 37 through 62. All right, today's scriptures for the insight will be 2 Corinthians 5, 14 through 21. 2 Corinthians 5, 14 through 21. For Christ's love compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all died, and he died for all, and those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them, and who died for them and was raised again. So, from now on, we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. All of this is from God, who reconciled all us to himself through Christ and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. That God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting people's sins against them. And he has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. 2 Corinthians 5:14 through 21. Alrighty, that concludes the Daily Bread portion of the program, which concludes the Shen Show for the day. And so I've got one more song for you, or a song for you, and that would be, well, goodbye, my friends, it's time to go. I said goodbye, my friends. It's a time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must go. So goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. This here's been Shenandoah Briscoe saying hello and how are you? Thanks for tuning in to the Shen Show. And as always, God loves you and so do I. So be blessed and come back and see me tomorrow because, well, I'll be here and I hope that you are too.